This is an impromptu setup. I am in the process of packing, and things are in disarray, to put it mildly. Welcome Matters With. I'm your host, ThisPhillipBrian. Today, we're here to discuss Trek Matters With You. Season 2, Episode 10, the season finale. We open up with the USS Cayuga visiting a Earth colony just outside of Federation borders. That seems like a really bad idea. Lo and behold, the Gorn show up. Captain Battelle sends out an emergency transmission. The nearest starship is, of course, the USS Enterprise. Captain Pike and the Enterprise crew immediately respond and arrive at this Federation colony. The USS Cayuga is destroyed in orbit. There's no way to communicate to the surface of the planet or beam down because there's been an interference beacon established. The Gorn have attacked the Cayuga and the colony. That's, again, outside of Federation space. See why that was a bad idea? Although the in-universe reason was it'll put a target on their back. Seems like the target's on their back without it's an in-universe explanation, and we're just gonna live with that choice. They can't beam down, they can't communicate with the planet. It looks like no one is alive on the Cayuga, what's left of it, although there is a slim chance there could be somebody still alive on there. Maybe that somebody was the visiting Christine Chapel. Captain Pike and Lieutenant Ortegas and Mbenga and Lieutenant Sam Kirk and La'an, the security chief, pilot down, and that's a fun scene. They pilot down to the planet to look for survivors, leaving Commander Una, Chin Riley, Science Officer Spock, and Uhura, the communications officer, along with Commander Palia in engineering on the Enterprise to come up with a solution for taking down this beacon. On the planet, Captain Pike does find survivors after some tense scenes. He also finds a brilliant Lieutenant JG by the name of Montgomery Scott, played in the 60s through the 90s by James Doohan, and played in the Kelvin Universe movies by Simon Pegg. Played here by Martin. I've not seen this Martin before. Martin Quinn. Martin Quinn. First try. Martin Quinn. Played here by Martin Quinn as Lieutenant J.G. Montgomery Scott. It's fun. It's nice to see Scotty in. Oh, hello. Traffic. It's nice to see Scotty here. We heard Scotty last season, but we didn't actually see him. Now we get to see him in action, and he's awesome, as he's always been awesome. Love Scotty. On the Enterprise, I'm giving you a rundown because I need to in this one, because I'm going to get to the thoughts about it after. So here's the rundown. I'm going to this rundown off of memory, except for I did look up Martin Quinn's name. I was able to twist it and see it in the light. And I'm not even blinded by the light. Thanks, Bruce. Back on the Enterprise, Uhura and Palia come up with an idea on how to bring down the interference beacon. The only person who can possibly execute this is Spock. So Spock bravely, dangerously does so with a little bit of luck and a little bit of help from Christine Chapel. There's some good scenes in there that are tense. They get back on the Enterprise. Seemingly, they all get back on the Enterprise. Pike gets back to the Enterprise. However, Sam Kirk, La'an, and Mbenga, they're not back on the Enterprise. The citizens of the colony are not back on the Enterprise. The Gorn transported them out before the Enterprise could. Now there's a demarcation line, which was established earlier in the episode. There's a demarcation line with several Gorn ships that they're just daring the Enterprise to cross. There's direct orders from Admiral April not to cross that. Do not engage the Gorn. And it's to be continued. Lots of good in this episode. Mostly well written, mostly well acted, mostly well executed, mostly. They borrow a lot from Alien. Again, that's not one that this show has borrowed from a few times. They also borrow a little bit from The Walking Dead and Star Trek lore in and of itself, multiple storylines in Star Trek past, including the best of both worlds. This feels a lot like that era, that third season ramp up to the Borg time frame in TNG. This feels a lot like that, although not quite as well done, but close. More traffic. Thank you for watching, even though I'm in transition, and that this is not my usual setup, and it hasn't been for the last couple of weeks due to travel and now due to packing. I appreciate it. And you know what else I'd appreciate it? If you're watching the videos, if you would subscribe to the channel. Normally I have a nice backdrop, and I will again, I promise. But please subscribe. I did a little stat checking. 97% of my views come from non-subscribed people. Where was I? Oh, the quality of the episode. Mostly well written, mostly well acted, mostly well executed. Really liked it. I'm going to give it an A-. I might be being a tad generous just because of the emotions involved, but I'm not sure. Because here's the thing. I don't want to go back and watch Arena yet, but I'm going to have to go back and watch Arena because there's parts of this episode I'm going to have a real hard time reconciling with Arena, and I'm just going to set that over there for now and judge the episode on its own, and that's where it comes in at the A-. Almost got a B+, but there's some stuff there with Pike and with Spock and with Sam Kirk. Sam Kirk is more Kirk family, like the Kirk family, like we think of Jim Kirk. The Sam Kirk is more like, he seems like the brother of Jim Kirk more than this than he has any other episode. It's good. It's good. The Arena stuff. All right. I haven't seen Arena in maybe a year. I've seen Arena several times. There might be some headcanon gymnastics I can do to explain why Spock, when he's the first officer of the Enterprise in the original series, fails to inform Jim Kirk, the captain of the Enterprise, that, 6 or 7 years earlier, I had a lot of encounters with the Gorn, and here's what I learned from it. Maybe there's some gymnastics to make that work, like when Kirk is battling the Gorn, Spock can't communicate with them, but is intently watching and articulating to the others what Kirk is doing and why it's going to work and why it's not work. Maybe there's some mental gymnastics to fit it into that. I don't know. Right now, I really don't care because it fits. It fits here. I'll reconcile whether I can find a way to make it fit with Arena later. And if I can't, you know what? I can't. There are times the original series doesn't reconcile into and of itself. There are times that the Next Generation doesn't reconcile into and of itself, and that is said for every subsequent series into and of themselves. To borrow a term from one of my favorite TikTokers, it's not univocal. It is good. This is an adventure episode. We've had comedy episodes, we've had drama episodes, we've had a musical episode. This is a Star Trek adventure episode, so for your traditional Trekker whose favorite film is Wrath of Khan, this fits in there. It's in that genre. It's in that adventure genre. I thought it was good. A-, barely squeaked out above a B+, but either way, B is good, B+ is even better, A- is even better. I get a lot of feedback like, oh, I gave it a B+. What, you didn't like it? No, I did like it. But to get to an A, to get to a full-on A, that means I have to talk to you with some of the same regard I would talk about Best of Both Worlds, or Way of the Warrior, or Timeless, or Carbon Creek, or City on the Edge of Forever, or Balance of Terror. That there's a level there in the pale moonlight. I liked it. Let me know what you thought of it, and please subscribe to the channel. If you're watching, subscribe. You know what? If I make videos and you don't like, you can unsubscribe later. Don't do that. We'll talk soon.